Come here, I need to show you something. The number one reason why a lot of people are waking up to the truth of flat Earth is the Nikon Coolpix P1000. This camera is the most powerful zoom in the world. Here is how I know that we are gaining traction, because they are discontinuing this product as of February 29th. Multiple articles. Several Japanese stores list the Nikon Coolpix P1000 as and will be discontinued production. Why is that important? Here's why it's important. The number one proof, besides people who believe in the Bible, for flat Earth is the fact that you can see way too far. The reason why this camera is being discontinued is because they do not want normal people going out there like me, who can go out there and zoom in on miles and miles and miles and see absolutely zero curvature. They are losing their narrative. They are in trouble and they are losing their grip. This is the reason why they're wanting to ban TikTok and everything else, because all the truth that's starting to be exposed right now.
So I'm sitting here thinking about flat Earth and how obviously like the Earth is flat, right? And just how it shows us how we've become like literally so jaded to the government and the school system and all of it that we are literally willing to believe that the Earth is flat just because it's the opposite of what they've taught us. And if that doesn't scream like broken society, I don't know what does. But if they can teach us anything, it's, well, one, that the Earth is obviously flat, right? And two, that we'll just believe anything that's the opposite of what they tell us because they've lied to us so much.
Now I'm about to prove to you that the so-called planets are not physical objects. So this is what NASA shows us versus what one of the most powerful zoom cameras in the world, which is the Nikon P900, actually shows us. For starters, this is what NASA says Saturn looks like versus what it actually looks like. Guys, this is what our planets actually look like, and not this fake CGI cartoons that NASA gives you. Also, how is it when you point a camera at the North Star, which is Polaris, all the stars around it do perfect circles? Also, if you weren't aware, the constellations realign in the same exact spot every 365 days, which means we are absolutely not doing this, hurtling through space, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, chasing the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. How would it be possible to see the same exact constellations in the same exact spot every year? Come on, guys, think about it.
To me, this represents the truth movement. I cracked the code of Avatar. So the story of Avatar is this government soldier who goes into the body of this being to learn the ways of these beings, be a shill, and earn their trust so they can steal all their resources. But during his journey of infiltrating this race, he found love, not just for this being, but for the culture. And eventually he would fight to protect everything that they are. He found family in this culture. This guy was sent to infiltrate them, right? To trick them. He was a shill, made to act like them so that he could deceive them. But he found family and found out that that culture was actually more real than the culture he was from. Now there's a war, and when it comes to choosing sides, he chose their side. So this government shill was sent to infiltrate the truth movement. And in doing so, this shill found that there was love, truth, and admiration in this truth culture that he was sent to destroy. I've met a lot of people who started out as shills, sent here to learn our ways and gain our trust, who now will fight for us. They actually enjoy our company. So I wonder, when it all goes down, how many of these shills who are sent here to act like us and to gain our trust will actually decide that they're on our side at the end of the day.
This poor soul has no idea what he's talking about. Take a listen to his nonsense.
When you look at the stars in the northern hemisphere, they rotate counterclockwise around the North Pole. In the night sky in the southern hemisphere, the stars rotate clockwise around the South Pole. Please elaborate and explain how.
First of all stars move from east to west, as the U.S. Navy video teaches on celestial navigation.
Using ancient man's concept that the Earth is stationary, We imagine the celestial bodies on the celestial sphere to rotate from east to west.
And second, this is so easy to understand that any 3-year-old kid can do it, except this poor soul. Look at this car going from east to west, in between these two guys. The person number 2 in the north faces south and sees the car moving from his east to his west. Same thing with the stars. The person number 1 in the south faces north. He sees the car moving from his right to his left. Same thing with the stars. Remember, all stars move from east to the west.
Let's talk about airplanes. The Earth is stationary, according to the Air Force, and according to all the flight plans in today's aviation. We've got a plane. Have this. We're taking off. Let's use a big continent like Africa. Plane takes off. You notice when you take off in a plane, you feel like you're leaning back. You're leaning back, and you're going up until you level out. You're always level. In an airplane, you're always level. Your plane never follows the curvature of the Earth. Why is that? Because there is no curvature. So a plane would have to follow the curvature. If they didn't follow the curvature, they would fly directly out into space. What do you never feel on a plane? You never feel like you're dipping down at all. Even when you're landing, the plane comes in like this. It never nosedives. The only time the nose is up is when it's taking off or trying to gain altitude. But coming down, it stays level. Where is all of this possible? Right here. Take off, level, 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 does not dip down. This round world model is a big lie that started by the Jesuit order. They want to make you feel this small, like you're nothing. That's why they say the universe is forever expanding. This going 1,014 miles at the equator, going around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, moving through the Milky Way galaxy going 500,000 miles an hour. Universe flying through the expanding universe at 2 million miles an hour. But you know what you never, ever, 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 ever feel? When you stand next to your bed, when you're talking to your children outside, when you're sitting at a bar, you know what you never feel? You never feel any of the motion that they talk about. You know why? Because we're right here, right here. Stationary, flat, with the star Polaris right above us, as it has been century after century, same place. The heliocentric model came about to pull you away from the creator and make you believe that you came from a monkey. Evolution means this. Understand, we live here, stationary.
Just in case you weren't aware, NASA is telling everyone that we are on a spinning water ball, spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, chasing the sun at 650 times the speed of sound, and traveling 4.4 billion miles every single year since the beginning of time, I guess. Now, the issue I have with this is, how does Polaris the North Star stay fixated in the exact same spot in the night sky 24/7, 365 days of the year? How is it that the stars around Polaris all do perfect circles and realign in the exact location every 365 days? If we're really doing this like NASA claims, you should see the stars do all sorts of crazy patterns, not perfect circles. The North Star shouldn't stay fixed and stationary. The stars should be all over the place. You guys remember the Georgia Guidestones, the New World Order's 10 Commandments written in 8 different languages? The first one saying maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Well, yeah, they drilled a hole in the Guidestones, and if you look through it, you can see Polaris fixed in the night sky 24/7, 365 days of the year. This is exactly how these people laugh at you and tell you the truth at the same time. Kind of like how they put the real truth in plain sight in the United Nations logo. This world is certainly not what you've been indoctrinated to believe it is, and the real truth to everything is found within. Peace and love.
So you think NASA landed a rover on Mars 199 million miles away? You sure about that? You're sure they didn't just send a crew to Devon Island, Canada, and take some photos and do some editing? Some editing to give it that red planet tint. Some editing that others before me have matched up identically with Devon Island and photos they claim to be Mars. Photos so identical that they just have to be identical. And then what they do is they release photos like this to make you think, oh my goodness, there could be aliens or other life on Mars. And that takes the attention away from the fact that the photos aren't really of Mars. And then they got you, because now you think they're covering up aliens instead of covering up the fact that Mars isn't a planet. Because if you look at what they claim to be a planet, with your own eyes through an actual telescope or a P1000 camera, you see something much different. Because here's what NASA shows, and with a short video.
The Hubble Space Telescope just captured this new image of Mars in May 2016 as Earth and Mars approached opposition, when both planets are on the same side of the...
But if you decide to research yourself and explore what thousands of people see instead of the one government agency, you see Mars looks an awful lot like a pool light shimmering in water. Nothing like a planet. And then you dig even more and you find plenty of evidence that NASA was at Devon Island.
Place that is barren,
Vast, intimidating.
you're rambling through areas that are quite dangerous.
It's isolated, remote, and rocky, just like the surface of Mars is. I think someday there will be humans walking on Mars, definitely. My guess is that the first people who land on Mars will say something to the effect, oh wow, this looks just like Devon Island.
So you can go on believing the mainstream narrative all you want, or you can go out and seek truth and do real learning and seek knowledge, because learning is knowledge and belief is the enemy of knowledge. The choice is up to you. You just got to make that decision. Are you happy believing, or would you rather know?
You can draw a triangle, solve the triangle, and know the angle. You do a triangle on the surface of flat Earth, but we have to presume that the Earth is flat. If you're doing triangulation, you do a triangle on the surface of flat Earth, presuming flat Earth, you get then the distance of the angle to the GP. So you can draw it on your chart, draw a line there, and then you do it for all three, and you get your intersection. But we have to presume that the Earth is flat. We can do triangulation, but we have to presume that the Earth is flat. But if you're doing triangulation, you do a triangle on the surface of flat Earth. So it is actually triangulation. You can draw a triangle, solve the triangle, and know the angle. And so we can do triangulation, but we have to presume that the Earth is flat. But if you're doing triangulation, you do a triangle on the surface of flat Earth, presuming flat Earth, you get then I don't know.
Yeah, we can. We can go to a lake and prove it. Okay, this is what makes me think that NASA is lying to me. I remember when I first got born again years ago. I got saved, and I become religious, and I started reading the Bible, and then I read something about the firmament, and I didn't know what it was.
That's what the Bible used to call like space, like what's outside.
That's what some people say, and the reason why a lot of us don't look more into flat Earth is because when it is brought up, we're fed propaganda. Like for instance, you see like a pancake Earth out of space, then you hear somebody talking about it. That's not what we think. We don't think that. But that's what the images that's fed, and then they mocking like flat Earth and telling us why. Well, if the Earth was flat, then gravity will pull everything to the center. All this propaganda. Okay, so when I learned about the firmament, I went back. When I heard about the firmament, I went back to the Bible and I said, "Oh yeah, this is what it is." I didn't know what it was, and I remember the Bible saying it's separate the waters from the waters. Then I looked up the word firmament, and I looked up the old word. You got to look up what the old word is and stuff like that. And then I figured out what that was, and then that sent me on my journey because it was hard for me to believe. And then I wasn't believing. I was all conspiracy until I came across this one video of this guy talking about emergency landings, and this is the one thing that tipped me over to believing the flat Earth, and for a few reasons. I remember this older white lady that was talking about racism in America, and she was talking about how our continent is shaped different. Some continents are bigger than what they put in the maps. So she said they mess with the maps and how thing is, and then this guy was talking about emergency landings. He was saying that one time this Asian lady was coming from Asia, I think Taiwan or somewhere, flying to LAX, and she was pregnant, but she was lying about how far along she was. So she got on the plane anyway, and then she started giving birth on the plane. So they had to make an emergency landing from Asia to Alaska. And if you pay attention to where Alaska is on the globe, that is not an emergency landing. And then his roommate was like, what's going on? He said, man, I can't figure out how this is emergency landing when they're coming from Asia going to LA, and they stopped in Alaska all the way over here. Like, why? How's that an emergency? Why did they stop there? Then he said, oh, that makes perfect sense on a flat Earth map. Then he pulled up a scientific, real flat Earth map from 1800. The guy was like, what is flat Earth map? He said, the United Nations logo. They use it. They throwing it in our face. The map that we use is wrong. It's different. They changed it. This is the actual map, and you can look up in encyclopedias. You can go and check one out of the library. It's a map it says like it's proven. It's a map, and it's scientifically proven. It's a fact that these are the maps that they use. It's a flat Earth map, and you have to fly over Alaska to get to LA. So
from Asia.
Yeah, but Alaska is right by us. It's not far up, but by LA. It's not west. Far. It's not more north than what we think. So, like, we've been lied to. So that is an emergency landing. Then I started looking to other emergency landings, and I started looking to like layovers and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Why they would fly all the way up here to change, then like the flat Earth map is totally different. Then once you kind of look into the flat Earth map, and then and when you fly across the world, and you know, like the layouts and what the stops and stuff, then it kind of make sense. The flat, and that's what took me over the edge, was that the emergency landings thing.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived from 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also of the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar, known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo. I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific Ocean where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional map maker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.